Thanks for tuning in to our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an e-commerce and dropshipping business for sale in the automotive niche. Created in June 2007, the business makes $1,648 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this business is 41021. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Tommy.
Yep, great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Before we dive into the questions, just to give a quick overview for everyone out there listening in, as I mentioned, it was built in June 2007, monthly revenue $2,967, with expenses sitting at $1,318 for that net profit of $1,648. Now that is over a 12-month average, and included with the sale of the business is the domain, site content, Shopify account, and social media accounts. So all that being said, Tommy, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yep, absolutely. So I started building websites, I guess, back in early 2000s. And I own two other companies as we speak. And this is a company that I developed out of a necessity, right? So I actually owned a vehicle that had a particular problem and built a kit to kind of solve the issue. So, yep, just kind of built this out of necessity.
That's cool that you chose. That kind of answers my next question on how you came up with, this niche idea. It's cool that
Yep.
it was something, in your own personal life. I'm sure that definitely helped when it came to the marketing of the product, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, it was a problem that, that I went and tried to have fixed. It was kind of a temporary Band-Aid solution, from what I was gathering on other forums. And, I just said, hey, does anyone else have this issue? How many people have this issue? I mean, just a bunch of hands started raising, right? So, problem. And I thought, hey, let's build this thing and then let's see if, these people that have this problem are actually willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, they're still going strong.
That's awesome, man. So we'll go back into the product here shortly, but before we do,
Yep.
This is mainly a dropshipping business, right? Are you sourcing anything at all, or is it just 100% dropshipping?
Yep, 100% drop shipping. So, the orders come in, they're forwarded to the supplier. They send an invoice and they handle the shipping, they handle the fulfillment of the entire order, start to finish, log it into the admin, getting it to the supplier, less than 5 minutes per order. So, yeah, pretty straightforward process.
Yeah, exactly. That was my next question of how this primarily makes money. But yeah, that's a great description. Basically, someone goes to your site, they buy the product, you send the invoice to the supplier, they make it, ship it to the customer. So
that's it.
Yeah, that's
yep,
great.
Simple.
That's
yep,
very, very simple business. Yeah, which is excellent. Because it is such a simple business and you're making pretty good money. Why are you selling the business? Why not just keep it?
Yep. So that's a great question. So I have two other businesses that I'm currently involved in. One of them's was just launched back in January. So really just trying to ramp the advertising up on that business, and really try to scale it. The potential is just, it's in advertising. There's a ton of potential in it. I mean, like I said, just trying to pull funds out of this business to kind of, get the fire going there. So that's kind of my passion right now, and just been, devoting all of my time towards getting it off the ground. So other than that, it's been a great business, a great earner. So, but yeah, so just want to use those funds to, like I said, get other business off the ground and let it catch a little fire.
Okay, cool. So you're basically planning on using the capital to invest into this other project of yours.
Absolutely.
Moving back to this business, though, what was the trajectory of this business when you first started those first few weeks and months? It sounded like you already kind of had a customer base, at least on the forums in mind. So did you get customers really quickly, or did it take a while?
Yeah, so it took off really quickly. It did. And so in the beginning stages, like I said, it was through forums and people would just place orders and we take payments via PayPal. And then we started doing a little bit of Craigslist and then we put the website together. I mean, it's been, it was steady, probably within month 1 and 2, never really let up. So it's been favorable.
Is there anything you learned from this business? Like one thing that worked really well for you that you're going to apply to future businesses and sites?
Yep. So if there's one thing that I learned, it is developing a product or developing websites that solve a unique problem, right? So that's what really propels this business. And it solves a very unique problem that lots and lots of people have. So, trying to find those niches is, that's the challenge. But, digging in and trying to find those problem areas and building businesses around those.
Is there anything you tried that didn't work? Maybe something you thought was going to be successful and wasn't quite as successful as you hoped it would be?
Yeah, so not really. The biggest hurdle has been finding that perfect price point, right? So, just A/B testing, back and forth over the years. Does free shipping work? Does free shipping not work? Should we be at $199? Should we be at $249? Should we be at $149? So those are the really only challenges, and not really challenges, is trying to figure out, where we can maximize the revenue. So that's really been the only hurdles that I've been faced with.
You mentioned A/B split testing, which is usually associated with paid traffic. So are you running paid traffic or are you doing organic search? What's the story there?
Yep. So no paid traffic at all. Actually, in the last 24 months, like I said, I'm involved in a couple other businesses. So this one has been virtually autopilot for the last 24 months. So, but never done any kind of paid advertising, no PPC, nothing like that. Everything's 100% organic. At this point, the business is 10 years old. It gets a lot of word of mouth. We have a lot of people on the forums, that's kind of stuff talking about us. We rank really well in Google. So everything is 100% organic traffic.
Definitely. That is a pretty old site in terms of internet terms. If it's lived a few lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And it's tough. It's tough to get a business with that kind of traction to hold up, for that length of time. Any business, not just websites, but
Sure.
for any business to gain traction and stay steady for a 10-year period is pretty strong.
I imagine you must have a pretty good domain authority and metrics on your domain. Are you familiar with those metrics at all?
Here's what I'll say is it's not, I think that the reason it ranks so well is because of the age, right? Is because, we were first to market. We're the only ones to market at this point. No one else is there. The age helps. But no, I'm not familiar with any of the metrics that go along with the domain. I just know that
You just know it's working good.
yeah, I know. Well, I know that anytime you put in a search anywhere related, we're number one or two. So
Nice. Are you only selling one product on your site or do you have many?
Yep. So there's only two products right now, so there's a lot of upside to that, right? So we've been only selling two products, but there's a ton of stuff that could be added. We just just haven't done it, just haven't had the time, I guess is the best way to put it. It's just kind of been neglected.
Yeah, definitely. Do your suppliers have like a catalog of other products that are related, like maybe like best-selling products that you can easily add to the site?
Nope, they don't. So the supplier is actually just a fabrication and machine shop, right? So they can put together, just about anything that you wanted to come up with. So add-ons are definitely a possibility. Be willing to, help, a potential buyer or the buyer of the business, down that road to, kind of, give them ideas, work with the supplier, get some stuff off the ground to add new relevant products to the site.
Yeah, I imagine that'd be something that would be important as vehicles change and they have new features or new bodies. That being said, I know one of your products is for not a little bit older vehicle, but is that product relevant to newer models or is there other car models you know of where that would be relevant?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is related to a little bit of an older model, right? But with that being said, there was 3.7 million of these models made. There's an estimated 2.1 million still on the road, and all of them have the same issue, right?
Nice.
So the market's still there, and we get orders from all over the world. But like I said, there is that, and there is that option of adding newer models, right? Adding newer models, adding, add-ons to the existing product. I mean, there's literally probably 10 or 15 things that I can come up with in a 10-minute period that you could throw on the site to earn some extra revenue for sure.
So you mentioned you have customers around the world. So you're actually shipping outside the United States as well?
Yep, absolutely. So a lot of these vehicles are, we ship Australia, ship to Iceland, ship to, UK. I mean, you name it, we've shipped there. Probably, I would say 80% of the orders are within the United States. Other 20% are, various countries.
Is your supplier in America or are they over in China or in America?
It is USA made.
Cool. Very cool. How stable are the earnings? Is there any kind of seasonality you've noticed over the years?
No, it is very, very, very. Christmas, is probably the slowest time, but not by much, right? So if we're getting, 15 orders a month, you'll see December and January, drop down to maybe 12, but it's nothing that is throws up any flags or anything like that. But, right around Christmas time, people probably spending money on, family and, lots
Right.
of other
Yeah.
stuff. They're not thinking about fixing their vehicle, but, but once that party's over, then yeah, I need to get my vehicle fixed now. So the orders pop right back up. But like I said, the drop off isn't that noticeable.
So one of your items is pretty high ticket, like it's probably a 3-digit sales price, right? So is your
Yep.
other item low ticket item, or is that also high ticket?
Yep. And so yeah, the second item is it's under $100, and that fits, more models than what the high ticket item does. But the high ticket item was put in the majority of the vehicles, right? So,
Right.
and it's, a lot more in depth. There's a lot more parts, a lot more moving parts. So it is the number one seller, probably, 9 to 1 easily. So, but yeah, the other one is under $100.
You mentioned the social media accounts are on there. Are you using social media, and do you also have like an email list you've been building at all?
Yep. So there is a social media account. Never been used, right? It's never been,
It's
and
organically
again,
growing
another,
there.
right. Another good thing for the buyer, right? Same thing with the email list. There's an email list of probably over 1,000 people, and these are all buyers, past buyers who have signed up for the newsletter. That emails list has been neglected as well. We've never sent anything to them. So another big opportunity to add in some new products, put that list to use for sure.
So speaking of opportunities, let's hypothetically say you're going to keep this business and grow it. What would you do to grow this business that would be the least risky path to growth?
Yep. So the least risky path would be the add-ons, right? So all the stuff that would go hand in hand with this product that, you would find in any, so if you're walking through the automotive section at Walmart, for example, right? And you've seen a pair of spurs, or you've seen floor mats, or, that kind of stuff on the site. You already got these built-in customers that are, that love the vehicle that they're in. So adding those types of products, building the kit out for the next year model up. And, I think that would be the path of least resistance. Also, too, there's been a big demand to have these kits pre-built, right? So the kits now come, where the about an hour to 2 hours of work to get this functioning on their vehicle. But, we've had, requests to have these kits, pre-built and shipped. So it cut down on the installation time. So there, to me, is a winner right out the gate, because we know that the product works, and this just takes down a little bit of the installation time, cut it probably in about half. So that would be another good addition.
Now, on the flip side here, what would you do if you were just incredibly risky and you wanted to grow the business as quickly as humanly possible? Would you do anything different at all?
I don't think so. I really don't. Without the, adding on, a bunch of different products, which you could, this particular vehicle has tons and tons and tons of, fans and a big following, right? It's not like a Mazda, for example. There's not really a following for a Mazda. And I apologize for any of the Mazda owners listening.
Don't alienate the potential buyer stuff.
Right, yeah. So, but this particular brand has a huge following. Adding in, just all the products around this particular vehicle is possible, right? And there's literally probably, tens of thousands of products that you could add if you wanted to get really risky and just say, hey, let's put a ton of stuff on there and see what happens.
Cool. As far as risk, what do you think the biggest risk is to this business that a buyer should be aware of before purchasing it?
Yep. So I would say, it's hard to say, hey, there's a risk in anything that you purchase, right? There really is. Any investment is a risk. But, it's a stable website, right? 10 years, over $500,000 in sales liable. The downside is the particular model is, every day we're getting a little further away from the year model for this fix, right? I think that the potential, with the 2 million plus vehicles that are still on the road, it's going to be here for a long time. Yeah, you may have a little, if you don't do anything else with the site, just leave it as is, let it run on autopilot, just collect your check every month. Yeah, you may have that, slow decline. over the years. But like I said, it's been heavily neglected, in terms of advertising, marketing, adding new products. So I believe that, there's a lot of upside as well. But, the biggest downfall is that, this is for a particular year of vehicles.
Yeah, I would have to agree that is the biggest risk. And a new buyer, if they want to, continue to scale the business, they'll obviously need to innovate it a little bit and grow, add new products and stuff like that. But you make a valid point. People of this vehicle definitely, unlike other vehicles, are pretty diehard fans of them. In fact, I know this personally because my sister owns one of these.
Yep. It's true too, right? And they hold on to them. It's not like they're out looking for, something else. They always want to repair what they have. They want to fix what they have. They just want to, they literally want to drive it till the wheels fall off.
Pretty much. And then they'll just replace the wheels, right?
Yeah, there you go. Then they'll just replace the wheels, right? So there we go. So we could add in another product for wheel replacement, right? That fixes all the other pitfalls we may have.
So moving into the work required, what are you doing right now on a weekly or monthly basis to maintain this business as it currently is?
Yep. So right now, like I said, basically autopilot, right? So an order comes in, takes less than 5 minutes to fulfill that order. Right now, we're averaging, I think, right around 14 orders a month. So total time spent about 70 minutes per month. Outside of that, you may have 5 to 10 pre-sales questions, right? And they're usually all the same questions, right? So I, have a little FAQ made up that I can just copy and paste because, like I said, the questions are all usually basically the same. That may take another 10 minutes a month. So right now, an hour and a half per month, and that's it.
Is there any skills you suggest for a buyer to have before they purchase a business like this?
Nope. And I think that's what's awesome about this, right? So the skills, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of businesses that you can purchase that can be a little bit daunting, right? So as far as, adding content and, not really knowing, how you're going to make money, and you got to drive traffic over and then, make them click an ad and drive them back out. And that's how you get paid, right? So it's kind of, for someone brand new, it can be a little bit overwhelming. For this, it's very, very, very straightforward. The, admin panel that we use to fulfill all the orders for payment processing, all really, really, really intuitive, all straightforward. Anyone could pick up and, start running the business today. Probably a 10 or 15 minute learning curve.
Excellent. Yeah, that is one of the nice things about this business. It does seem like pretty minimal work involved currently. So that is, excellent especially for a buyer who does have skills, right? Like someone who can run Facebook ads or tap into that market that you were talking about and so forth.
Yep.
So moving into some wrap-up questions here, would you be willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how much support would you offer that buyer?
Yep. So like it says in the listing, 60 days, phone, email, Skype, whatever they're most comfortable with. But going, even after that, as far as, product development and, add-ons and, just want to, throw ideas, bounce ideas off one another or, new stuff to add, really for as long as they own the business, I'm willing to take those calls and kind of, help them along through that entire process.
Now, obviously, the best case scenario here for you and for Empire Flippers is someone comes in and buys your business for full list price. But that being said, would you at all be open to a split or earn out, say like 80% up front, 20% after a few months, or perhaps after a certain training period has been hit, something along those lines?
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, it would have to kind of take that in stride and just, see what the scenario is. But yeah, possibly, definitely, I would be open to it anyway. It wouldn't be a hard no. How about that?
Excellent. Yeah, obviously each one of those cases is very personalized, individual by individual cases. Before I ask you my final question here, Tommy, I just want to give a quick summary of the business again for everyone listening in. As I mentioned at the top of the show, it was built in June 2007, has a monthly revenue of $2,967 with expenses sitting at $1,318 for that total net profit of $1,648 over a 12-month average. Included with the sale of the business is a domain, site content, Shopify account, and social media accounts, along with that email list, about 1,000 customer email list subscriber base that hasn't been emailed yet. So that being said, Tommy, my final question for you is, what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
Yep, absolutely. So I would say the best thing this business has going for it is the time that it's been around, right? Like we've hit on it a couple times. 10 years and $500,000 in sales, and there's a ton of upside, right? So there's a ton of stuff that can be added. We kind of hit on it that this particular vehicle has a really, really strong following. And so literally the sky's the limit whenever it comes to adding in new products. But, this is a business that has been, tested. And, like I said, 10 years, it's really, really tough to come by a business that's been profitable for that length of time. So, with that being said, I think that, it's a great business for, anyone, even if they're not wanting to scale it, right? They don't want to add new products. They just want to, run it on autopilot like it is, take an hour and a half a month. It's going to be a steady earner for a long time to come.
Yeah. So for everyone out there, if you're watching this on YouTube but you want more information, the link will be below this video in the actual video description that would take you to the marketplace listing. Now, if you're watching this on the listing, you want more information, you can become a depositor today. It's super simple. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. So Tommy, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure.
Yep. Great. Thanks for having me.